You're listening to How to Drink Less, and I'm your host, Adriana Cloud. Whether your goal is to cut back, take a break, or say goodbye to alcohol for good, this podcast will help you stop drinking on autopilot, learn how to manage cravings, and feel fully in control around alcohol. It's easier than you think. Listen on to find out how. Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode. Today I want to talk about something that comes up all the time when people are taking a break from drinking or cutting back or trying to quit altogether, and that is what to say to other people when they ask why you're not drinking, and how to respond to people who get pushy and insist that you join them for a drink. I want to start with this because it's the most important thing I'm going to say in this episode. You do not owe anyone an explanation. You get to decide what you tell people, how much detail you share, who gets access to the truth, how much of the truth, and whether you explain yourself at all. Making a change to your drinking is challenging enough. Adding the pressure of justifying or defending that decision to other people is stress you do not need. As your resident sobriety coach, I hereby give you permission not to explain yourself. Now, with that said, we live in the real world, and in the real world, people ask questions. People are nosy and they want to know your business. And sometimes we do actually want to tell people in our lives that we're trying to drink less, but we feel awkward and we don't know what to say exactly, and that's what this episode is for. Now, this might be controversial for some of you, but here's your next permission slip. You are allowed not to tell the truth. Not everyone is entitled to full access to your inner life, your struggles, or your reasons for wanting to make a change. You get to decide who those people are. Depending on the situation, when you're asked why you're choosing not to drink, you might say something like, you have a headache, or you're tired, or you have planned an early morning workout that you don't want to miss, or you might say that alcohol hasn't been agreeing with you lately, or that you're on a health kick or doing a detox, or that your doctor recommended a break, or you might say that you lost a bet and you have to stay sober for a week. Choosing to slightly bend the truth or to give only a partial version of the truth doesn't make you dishonest in some big cosmic sense. You're just protecting your energy and your peace while you're trying to do something that is already difficult enough without other people weighing in with their opinions and quotes from Instagram influencers that they happen to come across. And I want to name something important here because this is where people often get confused about themselves. You can want to drink less and still want to fit in and not feel awkward for being the only person not drinking. Those two things can be true at the same time, and it doesn't mean you're being inconsistent or weak. It just means you're human, okay? Now, let's talk strategy. If you're going to be around people who will be drinking, and you anticipate being asked about why you're not joining in, I strongly recommend that you tell one safe person ahead of time about the fact that you're taking a break from alcohol. If you want, and if you feel safe to share details, you can tell them why you're not drinking, and if you trust them to have your back, you can even specifically tell them how they can support you. This might look like them staying close to you at an event, backing you up if someone is pushy and insisting that one drink won't hurt you. It can look like changing the subject or simply reminding you that you don't need to drink. And there are two reasons it's helpful to tell someone ahead of time. First, it gives them time to process instead of reacting in the moment, which means they're more likely to be supportive. And second, it gives you a chance to think through what you want to say, rather than being put on the spot when it's time to order a drink and defaulting to old habits because you panicked under pressure. I know that not everyone has someone in their lives that they feel safe to trust with this information, but if you do, lean on them. Make them an ally. And who knows, maybe they will even join you in an alcohol-free beer or a mocktail. Next, what if someone takes issue with you not drinking and they're pressuring you to drink? Above all, I want you to remember this. Their reaction is not really about you at all. A person who feels genuinely comfortable with their own relationship with alcohol does not need you to drink in order for them to feel okay drinking. When someone pushes you, teases you, or makes fun of you, or insists that you must drink, it's usually because something in them got triggered. They may feel judged, or they might suddenly be confronted with their own choices and get defensive. That doesn't mean that they're a bad person or that they're alcoholics or anything like that. But it also doesn't mean that you have to manage their feelings. So, if someone tells you that you're boring when you don't drink, you're killing the vibe, or tells you that you're more fun with alcohol, notice what they're really saying. They're telling you that their acceptance of you is conditional. You have to earn their friendship or their company by conforming to their expectations. And I invite you to gently ask yourself whether drinking alcohol is a condition that you want to meet in order to earn the privilege of that person's approval. There is no one right or wrong answer here. You get to decide whether this person in this particular situation warrants you giving in to the pressure and drinking alcohol, even though that goes against your plan and your goals. But I just want you to think through that choice and to make sure that you like your reasons for making that choice. And here is a reframe I want to offer you. Allow people to have their thoughts about you and your choices. Allow them to feel disappointed. Allow them to have opinions. They're entitled to their own feelings and their reactions. But you do not have to abandon yourself to make other people comfortable. And here's another reminder to take with you. That awkward conversation where you're being asked to explain yourself, even though no one is made to explain why they choose to drink alcohol, that conversation usually lasts only a couple of minutes at most. Then people move on. They focus on what's in their glass and they start talking about something else and they forget about you. But you are the one who has to live with the decision you make, not just for 2 minutes or just while you drink the beverage you choose, but for the rest of the evening, the night, and the next morning too. When you're standing there with a drink being offered to you, it can help to silently remind yourself, this is uncomfortable, but it's temporary. The decision I make lasts longer than this moment. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel tomorrow morning? What choice aligns better with my long-term goals? I'll share a little story with you here. The last time I drank, it wasn't because I was desperately craving a drink and couldn't resist the temptation. No, it was because I didn't want to explain myself. I'd been sober for about 7 weeks at the time, and I was feeling really good about it. I had gotten to the point where I didn't really want to drink. But I was going to a friend's house for Christmas, and I decided ahead of time that I would drink just to avoid the conversation. And do you know what happened? No one asked me anything. No one pushed me, and had I chosen not to drink, I am certain that no one would have cared, like at all. But instead, in my desire to avoid the potential awkward minute-long exchange when drinks were being poured, I ended up breaking my sober streak for 3 sips of champagne and 2 sips of red wine. That's it. I didn't even have a full glass of wine. I just had the tiniest taste a few times just to join in. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter that I had to reset my sober counter. I'm now 5 years sober, and the date when I had my last drink is completely irrelevant. But what did matter was how I felt the next day. I had abandoned my own goals in order to avoid a tiny bit of discomfort, and I was really disappointed with myself that I hadn't kept my commitment. And I want something different for you. I want better for you. Instead of deprioritizing the changes that you're trying to make, I want you to honor yourself and who you're trying to become. When someone says, come on, one drink won't hurt you, maybe that's technically true. 3 sips of champagne and 2 sips of red wine didn't really hurt me. But ask yourself, what decision would I be proud of when I wake up? Play the tape forward. Picture yourself waking up tomorrow and make the decision that future you would thank you for. If this is something that you struggle with, if your mind goes blank when someone asks why you're not drinking, or you feel panicked when you're put on the spot, I made something for you. I created a free resource called 100 Ways to Answer the Question, Why Are You Not Drinking? Yes, you heard that right. It's literally 100 possible answers you can choose from or riff on to come up with your own. Some of the answers are light, some are serious, some are funny, some are a little bit vague, some are quite honest, actually. And you get to choose what fits the situation, the person who is asking the question, and your own needs at the time, which is really what I most care about. You can download the list, skim it, and I guarantee that you will already feel calmer just knowing that you have options. I will put the link in the show notes so you can go grab it. Like I said, it's completely free. And I know you know this already, but I'll say it again just in case. There is no one right way to answer the question. You get to choose what to say, whom to say it to, and how much to reveal. And if it feels awkward at first, that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It gets easier with practice, I promise you. And each time you navigate that conversation and make a choice that you feel good about, you're building trust with yourself and you're gathering evidence that you can keep your commitments. That matters more than having the perfect answer in the moment. All right, my friends, this is where I leave you for this week. Go to the show notes to grab your free guide with 100 answers, because just knowing that you have options will make walking into social situations feel a lot lighter. And if you need more support, I'm here for you and I would love to help. I offer free consultations, no strings attached. The link to book those is in the show notes as well. So come and say hi and let's talk and let's see if I'm the right guide for you on your journey to the sober or soberish life that you're trying to build. Take good care and I'll talk to you next week. If you're looking for practical advice for how to say no to alcohol and say yes to yourself, you will want to get on my email list. Sign up to receive my free guide with 7 steps to kickstart your sobriety. The link is in the show notes, so go and grab it now, and I'll see you soon in your inbox.